Have you ever heard of the microbiome? If not, don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll see why understanding it could be one of the most important things you do for your dog's health. So, let's start with the basics. The microbiome is the community of trillions of microscopic organisms, mostly bacteria, but also yeast, viruses, and fungi that live inside your dog, mostly in the gut, but also in its mouth, nose, and airways, on the skin, or even in the reproductive areas. You might be thinking, whoa, that sounds kind of gross, but here is something you might not know. The combined genetic material of all of these microbes actually outnumbers your dog's own genes. And the same goes for us humans. In fact, there is a best-selling book literally called 10% Human because only about 10% of the cells in our body are actually human. The rest belong to microbes. That's how deeply connected we are to our microbial world. And the same is true for our dogs. They are not just made of dog cells, they walk in ecosystems. So, what do these microbes do exactly? In a healthy gut, they help break down food, absorb nutrients, produce essential vitamins like B12, biotin, and vitamin K, and even regulate hormones. They form the foundation of the immune system by teaching the body what's friendly and what's a threat. But they also produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, which influence stress, anxiety, and mood. That's right, the gut isn't just poo. It's often called the second brain because it communicates directly with the nervous system through something called the gut-brain axis. So when your dog's microbiome is out of balance, a state we would call dysbiosis, the effects can show up far beyond the gut. You might notice more than just digestive problems because a dysbiotic gut can contribute to skin issues, chronic inflammation, allergies, and yes, even changes in your dog's behavior. In fact, studies are beginning to link gut health and behavior in dogs. One peer-reviewed study looked at 48 dogs and found a clear link between the types of bacteria in their gut and their behavior. Dogs with higher levels of Blautia bacteria tended to score higher for anxiety and fear, suggesting that gut imbalances might play a role in emotional regulation. Another study published in 2022 found that dogs given a specific probiotic strain showed improvements in aggressive and separation-related behaviors after just 2 weeks. The researchers also observed increased serotonin activity, pointing to a calming effect through the gut-brain axis. That's because those gut microbes influence the production and regulation of key mood chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, and cortisol. So, if you've ever wondered why your anxious dog doesn't improve despite training, or why your dog's allergies keep coming back despite trying all conventional methods, the answer might be in the gut. Now, here's the good news. There is a lot you can do to help. Let's start with diet. What you feed your dog feeds their microbes too. So a highly processed kibble diet with little variety, low moisture, and added preservatives can lead to an imbalanced microbiome. On the other hand, fresh, whole foods, especially those rich in fiber and polyphenols, will feed the good bacteria. These include veggies like broccoli and carrots, leafy greens, berries, flax seeds, chia, pumpkin, or fermented foods like sauerkraut. These are what we call prebiotics. They don't just feed your dog, they feed their microbes. I have a whole video about it, so have a look if you're interested. Next up, probiotics. These are different to prebiotics as they are the beneficial live microorganisms that you can add to your dog's routine, either through supplements or food like kefir. So, just to clarify, prebiotics are what the bacteria eat and probiotics are the actual bacteria. But supporting the microbiome goes beyond just food and supplements. One of the most overlooked ways to improve gut health is exposure to the natural world. Every time your dog walks in a forest, rolls in grass, sniffs the soil, or dips their paws in a stream, they are getting exposed to a diverse range of environmental microbes. These interactions help populate and maintain a more resilient gut microbiome. Dogs raised in overly sterile environments or walked only on concrete tend to have less diverse microbiomes. In fact, some researchers call this the biodiversity hypothesis, the idea that reduced contact with natural ecosystem is linked to poorer immune and gut health. We can see that dogs raised during the COVID-19 pandemic, often called COVID puppies, missed out on more than just socialization. With lockdowns and restrictions, many had limited exposure to new people, dogs, and environments during their critical development periods. That has led to a rise in behavioral issues like anxiety, reactivity, and poor stress tolerance. But there is another layer to this that often gets overlooked: the microbiome. Because these dogs weren't going out as much, they weren't exposed to diverse microbes found in nature, things like soil, plants, other animals, or even different surfaces and smells. And this lack of microbial exposure might have shaped their immune systems and gut health in ways we are still trying to understand. And this isn't just my theory. Microbiologist Carol Hughes has spoken extensively about how microbiome profiles started shifting in 2020 and how these changes are still showing up in dogs today.
One on the left is before the COVID lockdowns, and the one on the right is after, I think it was August 2020, that suddenly the microbiome changed. That profile continued and does continue today. This one on the right is not beneficial to the dog at all. Okay, so it's robbing the dog rather than helping the dog.
Pesticides, herbicides like glyphosate, household cleaning products, flea and tick spot-ons, and even lawn treatments can all negatively affect the microbiome. Glyphosate in particular has been shown to disrupt gut bacteria in both humans and animals. If your dog walks on treated grass and then licks their paws or ingests food with pesticide residues, the gut microbes can suffer. That's why organic food, chemical-free lawns, and natural cleaning products aren't just a hippie thing. They actually help protect the invisible ecosystem inside your dog. And one more thing, antibiotics. While sometimes necessary, they are like napalm to the gut. They don't discriminate between good and bad bacteria. One course of antibiotics can reduce microbial diversity for weeks or even months. And a prolonged course of antibiotics can destroy your dog's gut. Trust me, I've been dealing with this for years with Benji, and it's not fun. If your dog has recently received antibiotics or has had multiple doses throughout their life, using targeted probiotics, prebiotic foods, and possibly a microbiome test can help assess their internal health. And yes, that's possible. Today, there are commercial microbiome tests for dogs that analyze their poop and tell you which bacteria are present, which are missing, and what kind of dietary changes might help. I tested Benji's microbiome and the results were mind-blowing. Let me know if you'd like me to do a video on what I learned. The microbiome is one of the most complex and important systems in your dog's body. It shapes digestion, skin, immunity, behavior, and long-term disease risk. And yet, most dog parents have never even heard of it. But now you have. So if there is one takeaway from this video, let it be this. Don't just feed your dog, feed their gut. Support it with real food and probiotics. Reduce chemical exposure as much as possible. Take your dog on nature walks. Let them sniff, let them dig, let them get muddy. Because when the gut thrives, your dog does too. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you found this video helpful.